now whenever I speak, like I'm much more concise and much more, how can I say, so certain topics are not very exciting. I don't want to go on the finance field there, but sometimes you can have to, it could be boring,
No, finance is not boring, okay?
Fine. Okay, agree to disagree. But the point is, no matter what you're talking about, putting on socks or whatever, you can make it exciting if you put in some life into it and if you can put yourself into it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Urmi, and in this channel I talk about finance, career, public speaking and self-investing. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. So today I have a guest in my show and we'll be having an interview about Toastmaster. And before I introduce you the guest, I want to share a little bit about our guest, and we can start on with the interview. So to tell you a little bit about our guest, her name is Patricia. She has a bachelor degree in computer science and it's from McGill. She enjoyed being a public servant since 2005. She's a woman with a lot of passion. She loves to read, write. She likes to take care of her plants, and we can definitely see that from the background. She loves to travel, and she also loves to volunteer. She's a VP of PR in her own Toastmaster club called Words of Wings on Wings. And fun fact, she cannot live without peanut butter. So I want to welcome you, Patricia. Thank you for coming. Hi, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good. I'm very, very excited to have you in the show. And I'm very happy that you are the person that I chose to talk about Toastmaster. And this is also where we first met. And what I really like about our, let's say, I would consider as my friend, it's that we have a very good energy together. And I feel like we really try to bring each other and support each other. And I think that's also all about women's empowerment. So I'm very, very happy to have you here with me.
Me too. So I have to contain my excitement. I'm extremely excited. Thank you so much for having me with me. So much to say about you and but I'll let you, it's your show. It's unusual for me to be on the other end. It's my first time actually on the other end. So it feels very uncomfortable, not uncomfortable, but weird. It's like I'm at your mercy. You can do what you want with me. Go ahead. I'm all yours.
Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself first. Tell us where you work and what you do in your free time before we start with the interview.
Yes. So I'm a federal public servant. As you said, I work on projects. I don't believe I'm supposed to be, I'm not going to get into details basically because it's not really released to the grand public, but I'm working on some procurement project in the moment. And I love my job. I love my colleagues. I have the best team in the world that I work with and for. And I, on my free time, I started a whole journey, but I guess it'll be shared later on during the interview. But essentially, I'm very passionate. I founded like the Patty Pat's Journey, which is something that passionates me a lot. So besides all the things that you mentioned that I love, right now, I'm very passionate about my 2 YouTube channels and the brand that I'm trying to grow. So this is what my free time is pretty much based, working on content and also editing, lots of editing.
Yeah, well, definitely I can see that, especially when I'm looking at your social media, you're like everywhere. So that's great. So I want to start asking you about your journey with Toastmaster, because you just recently started, and I think it's something that it's relatively new, and I can tell you're doing great so far. So I want to tell you, how did you start with Toastmaster, and what made you join Toastmaster, and how are you using this to grow your channel or to create your personal brand?
Yes. So I live my life mainly feeling like I was purposeless, like I was going nowhere. I looked like I had all my stuff together. I'm a very joyful person. I always have been, even when I was miserable, but I had a very rough life, okay? It was not easy. And it's not blaming anybody. It was a lot of it because of the poor choices that I've made. But basically, I got to the point in September 2018 when I hit absolute rock bottom. So I had the option of either continuing with my unhealthy patterns or embarking on a healing and spiritual journey. So I chose to heal and literally surrender my life over to God and just follow wherever he wanted me to go, because I figured whenever I did things my way, I failed. So, let me just trust that higher power. Whatever I call it God, different people call it different things. I don't think it's relevant, to be honest. It's as long as you believe, you're not in control. Okay. And so I just followed him and I started a whole healing path. And that led me to a women conference where there was an amazing lady called Dr. Anita Phillips, who had a workshop, and it was called Find Your Own Voice. And it was amazing. And she was saying, find your own voice and join a group like Toastmasters to be your most authentic self. And it sounded like, wow, it sounds amazing. But then when I started researching it, it sounded on the Toastmasters.org. It seemed great, but I had just started some different projects and I was very involved with my community and doing all kinds of work and the healing work. So I said, you know what? I don't have time for this. So then I went on with my life. So by then, so that conference was in August 2020. Then at one point I was talking to my brother and he was telling me, you have to read this book. You have to read this book. It's The Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuses. So then he insisted so much. I said, all right, stop complaining. I ordered the book. It arrives. I start reading it. Over me, I can't put it down. Okay. I got to a chapter at one point. It was saying, learn to speak on your feet, join a group such as Toastmasters. So at that moment, I was really wide open and I knew I had figured out what my life purpose was after a time of fasting and praying. So I knew I had to help women, and specific women. I had a whole list that came out from that fasting session, so those fasting days. But I felt the imposter syndrome. Who am I to try to help anybody? Who am I to get to these women? Why would they listen to me? I'm nowhere to be found on social media. I did not exist. I did not want to be found before. And so I said, how? I don't have a voice. I can't speak. I stuttered. I stuttered. I spoke too fast. I still do, but this is like divided by 10, okay, my speed. I was not understandable, basically. So I did not feel eloquent. I did not have the confidence. So I said, how am I supposed to help these women? So then I fell in that chapter in the Brian Tracy book. So then I said, okay, all right. It's the second time in my life I'm reading the word Toastmasters, and it's always in moments of, where I feel like I'm at a crossroad. So I said, fine. Mid-April, I started visiting a few clubs. Actually, I visited Royal Speakeasy, the Ville Marie one, a few of them, and they were all amazing. Okay, because all the different clubs bring something different. But that's why it's important to go visit a few clubs before you sign up. I find just to find the right fit. I ended up going at the Words on Wings club, the WOW club for short, and it was love at first sight. Like, I don't know, the individuals, the energy, whatever, it was just great for me. So again, all the other ones were fantastic clubs, but that one was it was a better match for me for what I was looking for. So right away I signed up and I became an official member on May 1st, but on the April 30th, I had already done my icebreaker. Okay, that's just to tell you how enthusiastic I was. I went in there, I was freaking out at the beginning with just introducing. They always ask the guests, can you introduce yourself, Patricia? And I was like, I had written notes because I had no idea what to say about myself. And I was reading, okay, yes, I'm here to become more eloquent. I was literally like reading to introduce myself. That's how freaked out I was about this, but I felt good. Like, I need to be here. And I felt like I needed their help, that I could not do it without them. It's a very inclusive, very warm environment, all the clubs basically, where we're all trying to push out from a comfort zone and be better and do better. And I loved it so much. So right away, I started doing a lot of roles. I'm probably getting ahead of your questions here, but I got involved. So to answer your question, why? Because I felt like I was inadequate to do what I felt I had to do. And I also wanted to get the tools to be able to get to these women, get the confidence, and just become a more eloquent speaker. That's the only reason why I joined Toastmasters.
Nice. I actually find like your story is very inspiring, and I hope also it inspires other women and other people as well, because I think when you said that you felt you didn't have a purpose in life, but now finally, after a lot of self-reflection and a lot of, self-exploration, you finally came to conclude that, no, I have a purpose in life. And you started on this mission of, improving on yourself, but also helping others. And I think this is very important. And I share a lot what you said, because I also feel the same too. And I was also reading a book about this, on how it's important to find a purpose in life, because, once you get a certain age, especially after when you graduate, you're working, you start in a routine, and you don't do anything to really improve yourself, or, to challenge yourself. And I think what you're doing is amazing. And so I really admire all you just said. And I also agree. The Toastmaster Club, no matter which club you go, they're always so welcoming and inclusive. And I felt the same with mine too. Okay, yes. Nice.
And we can go to any club worldwide. Exactly. We have about 15,000 some clubs worldwide. I can show up in a club in Saudi Arabia and China and France, wherever, we're welcome. It's the most amazing thing. It's a huge family. We're like a big, huge family.
Yes, I agree. I agree on that. Yes, definitely. And I also know there was a girl who was in our club in Montreal, and then she left the city and she went to the club in New York with no issue. So it's open to everyone. Okay, and how do you feel Toastmaster help you in other aspects of your life? Did he help you in your work life or in your free time?
It helped me in every single aspect. I'll list you a few. You know what? I'll list you 3 ways. Work, definitely. Absolutely. I have a lot of working groups that I lead for my project. I deal with a lot of stakeholders. And of course, I was always the expert in my field, so I always knew what I was saying. But now whenever I speak, I'm much more concise and much more how can I say, so certain topics are not very exciting. I don't want to go on the finance field there, but sometimes you can have a presentation. It could be boring, No,
finance is not boring, okay?
Fine. Okay, agree to disagree. But the point is, no matter what you're talking about, putting on socks or whatever, you can make it exciting if you put in some life into it, and if you can put yourself into it. So all my presentations are a lot more entertaining. My groups, people are left, they leave all my meetings feeling uplifted, and we can do it. And there's always a sense of we have a very tight connection. Although I was always very good with people and connecting well with people, but now it's through the roof. Okay. One thing, work. My personal relationships. Oh my goodness. What could all my interactions with the way to speak, how to structure, how to provide feedback. Sometimes you can speak in an ineffective way, basically, and you don't get your message across. There are misunderstandings. I can think of with my mom, my brother, my cousins, my friends, whoever. I always had pretty good relationships because I got rid of all the toxic ones. But I'm only surround myself with good, uplifting, wonderful people. Okay. But it increased my relationship with them even better. Third thing, recently I lost, my sister passed away. And so I'm dealing with that basically, but so I went into productivity mode, not even feeling with my grief, because I was one coordinating, that happened still, coordinating the entire funeral, basically, because I didn't want my mom to be burdened with all of that. And I gave a eulogy. It was a very good eulogy. I wanted to honor my sister properly, and I want people to really feel her. And she had a very, very difficult life. For 3 decades, she was sick. So I wanted to put life into it and bring her to life. And I did. And it was a beautiful eulogy. I'm still hearing about it right now. So I could have never done this without Toastmasters, without the tools that we have to structure a message properly and be as powerful and impactful. And I'm just getting started. I don't even know what's going to happen in the future. I'm leaving this to the hands of the higher power. But I know that in all those areas, my confidence, let me add another one. I would have never had the nerves and the balls to start 2 YouTube channels. I have 2 YouTube channels because, we'll talk about this more later, but I would have never had the courage to do something like this. And the confidence, I'm going to go back to the confidence to just say that, you know what, I'm enough, and I'm going to show up, and I'll just talk, and I'll do my best, and that'll be enough. Because Toastmasters has groomed me and made me realize that there is space for me in this world.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it makes you more confident, and you start believing in yourself, in your capability, and in the ability to do things. Because a little bit like you, I never thought I would have had a YouTube channel, to be honest. I never thought I was going to be interviewed on different YouTube channels, and now I'm getting interviewed in different podcast shows. And I think really Toastmaster really helps you to be much more confident, and also increase your self-esteem and make you believe that you can achieve anything in the world just using your voice. And that's enough. Our voice is just our own power.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Urmi. Let me jump. Just two little things I want to add to this. Absolutely. And it's crazy. People, sometimes I'm sure you hear that too. People say, oh, I have nothing to talk about. I don't have a story to tell. You hear that, right?
Yes.
Doesn't it drive you nuts? Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody. Like literally, you could be like boiling an egg and you can come up with a story about that or make some analogy with something. And often people, they think that the story comes from I went to the Himalaya, I tripped over, broke my face, broke all my bones, and I came back and crawled out of, there's some pit somewhere. But really, no, it's about the little moments that happen, story-worthy moments that happen every day with our loved ones, with our cats, with our plants. And those are so we all have stories, and everybody has, I feel like we're all a bunch of wounded people walking this earth. We all have had trauma. We've all had things that we had to overcome. So if there's a way, certain people share it in a clumsy way or in a triggering way, so it doesn't come out well, so the message doesn't pass and people just want to like not listen to them. But there's a way to make it beautiful and uplifting, and again, Toastmasters helps with that. So this is why it's so important to understand that we have a story and it's worth sharing.
Yes, I agree with that, because I was actually mentioning to a friend that, Toastmaster, it's not just about preparing a speech. You get to learn other different things. And she was hesitant on joining the club because she was like, yeah, but I have to come up with an inspirational speech. But it's really not about that. You can just talk about, like you said, how you boiled an egg, which you can make it fun and interesting at the same time. And we all have a story to share. Like you said, we are a bunch of people with wounds and traumas, which is also worth sharing, because then other people can relate to it, and feel compassionate and empathetic towards what happened to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. Do you want to add something?
Yes, there was a second thing I want to say. Yes, I want to give you credit for something, Urmi. So I don't want to get ahead of your question, but whatever, I guess we'll have to talk about it anyhow. But I started, when I met you, I had already started my Patty Pass Toastmasters journey channel, where I was documenting my speeches. Actually, I was documenting my speeches from my presentation mastery pathway that I'm doing, right? And the reason why I started doing that actually is because I had a friend who had problems, and she came to me for help. She was having marital problems, okay? Let's call her Barbara. So she comes to me in tears. My husband doesn't want to be with me anymore, la, la, la. So I go, okay, no worries. So, and then she starts telling me about her problems. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, I just gave a speech yesterday on that at my club. And like 10 people heard my message, but it was a very good message about how full is your tank, it's called. And it's about the 5 love languages from Dr. Gary Chapman, which like changed my life forever. Because often we just don't know how to love properly. I have a video on that if you guys want to go check it out. So I just look at the girl, I go, Barbara, well, I just gave a speech about this because I had all my props on the counter right here, right there. So I go, can I just give you a speech and maybe I can help you? So I just literally, she goes, sure, why not? So she's sitting here and I'm just like giving her my speech, and she was like, oh my God, all he wanted was some physical touch. Because she thought it was okay to just clean the house and cook and do all those things. And but that was not his love language. He was not acts of service. He wanted to be hugged. He wanted to be kissed, or her sitting next to him while watching TV instead of going on the other couch, So she had wounds to deal with, and that, anyway, she did not understand that she was not loving him properly all those years. So then I said, oh my God, so I've had this message. I read this book like last year, and yes, people loved it at my club, but what about the rest of the world? So she's one person. What about all the other Barbaras? So I said, you know what? Okay, and there's a second thing also why I started the YouTube channel, because I was sick. I was supposed to go on a trip with my friend Asma. Hey, Asma. And I was completely sick. It was booked, the hotel, everything booked. And then I got sick. So I was trapped in the house because, because of the pandemic, I couldn't really get out of the house. I was quarantined. So I had the option between binge watching Netflix, or binge watching the World Championship of Public Speaking in 2021. Something told me, you know what, just see what people are talking about. So the competition, by the way, there were 30,000 contestants that enter into this. It's huge. And everybody had an amazing message. I just watched them all, the semifinalists too, and then the finals. And it was just like, oh my God. And only one person wins. Verity Price, which I pretty much interviewed all of them by then. I like the number 1, number 2, number 3, and best speakers in the world, and a lot of it within the top 8. They all had an amazing story, but nobody talks about the other ones. Only the number 1 has the spotlight on her, which is great. She deserves that spotlight. She worked really hard for it. But what about number 2? Nita Yair, Livy. What about number 3? Roger Caesar. What about all the other ones? What about the other ones? I did not even make it through the semifinalists, like Alexandra Shirokova, phenomenal lady that I consider a friend, and you've met her as well. So their messages are not being heard, and they're being heard within Toastmasters, but the rest of the world is not, and they're all powerful messages. So I said, you know what? I don't want to wait until I'm world champion. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but if it does, it might be in 2, 3, 10 years, right? Some people, it takes 20 years for me to get there. So until then, nobody's going to know that I have a message to share. So I said, I need to start a YouTube channel. So those are the 2 reasons why I started the YouTube channel. But then, so I started documenting my speeches. And this is where I need to emphasize how phenomenal you are, Urmi. So I met you at a club, and then you go, I have to come on your YouTube channel. I love what you're doing. I want to come on your YouTube channel. I go, no, Urmi, you're not understanding. Nobody comes on my YouTube channel. I'm the only one talking. I want to share my journey so people can see me from when I suck until I become good. They'll see the evolution. I don't want to come in 5 years, say, oh, look, I'm the champion now. I'm going to tell you how it's done, which is great that they do that because they have a lot to share. But I didn't want to do that. I want to do it reverse. It's like, oh my God, she really, like, I cringe when I watch my first videos. Like, you go check them, you'll laugh at me. It was like, oh my goodness, I was reading the whole time, and it was a catastrophe. But I just said, you know what? They won't believe me if I come back later. So, and then you invited yourself literally. So I said, oh, whatever. So I met you, we had a chat like this, and we clicked right away. And I said, oh my God, we were so excited. We were like, let's do this.
Yes.
We're completely pumped. And then we had this interview, which is like my most popular interview yet. Yes, you're so popular, Urmi. So people loved you right away. And I just want to thank you because thanks to you now, I've interviewed, I think I'm at like 18 interviews by now. I've interviewed most of the world champions that I admire from all the different years, Darren Lacroix, Mark Brown, Aaron Beverly, Ramona J. Smith, like all of them, everybody. And I just asked them, and because they're Toastmasters, it's a club, it's a family, I told you, right? And they believe in my mission and they came. Had I not been a Toastmasters, I can assure you they would very likely said no, because that's not the point, right? But they know I'm an advocate for Toastmasters, and they came. So thank you, Urmi, because thanks to you, I met amazing people, and it's only the beginning. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Whenever Urmi asks you to do anything, people just say yes. Don't ask questions, just say yes.
Well, thank you for everything that you said. But I also feel the same with you, because you're the one who encouraged me to open my YouTube channel, because you saw something in me. You're the second person who saw something in me, because you said that there is something that I can share with the world and people are willing to listen to me. So it's because you believed in me that I have this channel, and I can see that I'm having very good feedback from different people and everything that I'm sharing. So it goes both ways at the end of the day. So thank you, and you're welcome.
All right. Let's not fight. All right.
So tell me, because you went to a speech contest, so maybe tell us a little bit about that experience and what was it like? And I believe it was your first time.
Yes, I just joined in May 2021, right? So yes, it was my first time. At the time that we're recording this video, we're in March 2022, by the way. So I just joined. What is that? Half a year? I'm not much of a financial with my calculations. I'm good with advanced math, but not the basic. Anyway, the point is about half a year. I had a speech that I cared very much about called What's Wrong With You? I gave it at my club. It was part of my researching and presenting project, because we have projects, like they literally hold you by the hand so that you can learn different things. And then my friend Vebav, so I've been interviewing world champions, right? And they, whenever I ask them, what's your best tip you can share with somebody that doesn't want to compete? They always say, compete, 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 compete for growth, compete for the fun of it, but compete because it will force you to step up your game. So I would say, oh yeah, I'm afraid of embarrassing myself. Blah, blah, blah. I was always like, I haven't done it yet. So then the more I interview them, the more I was saying, yes, I'll do it. Definitely. Next time I get a chance, maybe next year. I'm busy with my YouTube channel now. So I had zero intention of joining, zero. You know how busy I am over me. So then my friend Veba Federa, who I have also interviewed, he invited me to be a test speaker at his club in Leicester, UK, because it's part of the international speech evaluation contest. So they need preferably somebody from the outside of their club to give a speech, and then their job is just to evaluate them and win so that they can get to the next level. So I said, oh, sure, why not? I'll never see these guys again. They're in the UK, whatever, I'll do my best. I gave my speech, I received amazing feedback. So at a club, we get feedback from one evaluator, and then people send us in the chat, some comments. I love that you did this. Maybe you can improve this next time. But now I had 6 full 3-minute interviewers on me. So it took my speech from this to there. So I go, oh, wow. So I had all my props again on the side. That was on the Thursday. The Friday at noon, I have my Toastmasters meeting. And the girl that was supposed to, one of the members was supposed to give a speech, got sick. Okay, she got COVID basically. So we had no speech that day. And then this guy, Anton Kutzir, which I also interviewed, he said as a joke, hey, Patricia, you should do a speech, And typically I would have said, oh, I'm not ready. Hell no, for the speech, because a speech is a speech, like you have to be prepared. But then guess what? I had all my props ready. I had everything. So he told me this 3 minutes before the meeting started. I go, sure, I'll do it. And everybody was like, really? I said, yes, I'll do it. I'm ready for it. And I had just given it with all the feedback, and I was eager to integrate whatever some people had said. So I gave the speech. They loved it. I got amazing comments. I go, oh, wow. But don't forget, okay, my club is a small club. So we did not have a club competition. So I want to make sure to emphasize this, because maybe some people don't know this. So I could have just said, oh, well, okay. And I knew it was ongoing, because it's worldwide that this is happening. Everybody's trying to compete. So then I asked my club president at the time, Kit. I asked her, hey, Kit, is it too late, to participate in the contest, or how does it go? Oh, yeah. She goes, yeah, we missed the deadline. You missed the deadline. We were given the last call to give your name. So then I go, okay, So then I ended up talking to some other individuals, and then it turns out that it was not too late. That because my club did not participate, I was automatic, so there was nobody to challenge me. I was able to go straight to the area level. So I said, sure. So then I started doing all the things I had to do to make sure that I met all the requirements, and I read all the rules. And so that's how I got into it. So then I went in, let me just have fun with it. And I'll go in, and then the next time I interview a world champion, I could tell them, oh yeah, I tried it at the area level. It didn't work out, but it was fun. So I'll try again next year. I did not expect to pass. But because I had prepared my speech, I had all this feedback, and it's not a new speech. I had done it like months before. It was one of my first speeches, the first one after my icebreaker that I did. So I passed to the area level. So now I'm stuck, which took me by surprise. Thank you so much, judges. So now I'm stuck trying to prepare to be better, because now the division level, it's like not the cream of the crop, but it's better. They're better speakers that made it through, right? So now I have to step up my game. Because as Erin Beverly said in our interview, you can never give the same speech at the club, area, division. You always have to make it better, because you're dealing with tougher contestants, just like the Olympics, right? So this is how I got stuck into this whole world championship thing. So it's hilarious. I'm having fun with it. And we did a mock speech evaluation contest. I have to mention this. Urmi, you tell us about it. I've been talking about it.
No. Go ahead. You tell us about it, how you came up with that idea.
Yes.
Tell us.
So after that contest in the UK that I spoke at, I asked Bab, I go, hey, can we use the content so that we can, so I can put that on my YouTube channel so people can see a little bit more about it? He goes, no, it's an official contest. We can't do it. So I go, okay, fine. So then I said, ding, 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 ding. I can do my own mock speech evaluation contest. So I started calling you, Urmi, and then I started calling Alexandra and all the people that I really love, Daryl Pace, which I'm a total fan of, and Michael J. Pope, different individuals that I want to do a mock contest. Come on, I'll give you a prize. And, you know, we're going to put all the clubs one after the other. It'll be like a whole Olympic. I went pretty extra with it. Go watch it. It's hilarious. And you have so much to learn. You'll either be entertained, inspired, or informed or educated with it. So please, there's no reason for you not to watch it. And you'll get to see so many different individuals. And Urmi with her amazing evaluation. And looks that she might be the winner of the prize, but I have to go count the votes. but the point is, so those are the kind of ideas, and it's a YouTube channel. You can do whatever you want, right? There are no rules. So I invented all kinds of rules, and we're just having fun with it. So yes.
Nice. You're so like very, very creative and very imaginative with everything that you do. And I definitely recommend everyone to watch that mock evaluation. But because you mentioned very good points about the Toastmaster and also about the whole speech contest, is that when you go and give a speech, you're always receiving feedback, and you receive feedback from different people, and you receive feedback from different perspectives. So you know, we don't all think the same way. We all have different educational, ethnical backgrounds. So it gives you like a chance to really explore other things and what other people have to say about you. So I think that's a great thing about Toastmaster, and also how to provide constructive feedback, because there is a difference between criticizing someone and giving a feedback, because the feedback is supposed to really help you to improve yourself. But I think when you're criticizing someone, you're just like discouraging them. So there is a big difference in that.
Yes.
And so I want to ask you just the last question. It's about your 2 YouTube channels, because you have 2. Maybe just share a little bit about what you do in each one of them.
Yes. So I did mention essentially, but I'll just give you I'll give you the org chart of it or the visual that I have. So it starts with Patty Pat's Journey. That's my brand. Oh, and by the way, I have this lady that I work with, bureaudelexcellence.com, phenomenal lady. She's the one who made me realize that I need a logo. I go, what do I need a logo for? It's just a YouTube channel. No, you need a logo. You need a logo. And because she put that in my head, and she started making me some visuals and some logos, because if you look, again, it's a progression, it's a journey. If you look at my old videos, oh my Lord, the editing was a catastrophe, and the whole thing, it was really not good. But again, you have to start somewhere, right? I mean, I can't just become a pro. And then I realized, and I knew how much time it was taking, hours to make something that did not look good. Anyway, so she made me realize that, because I have very good messages, but it's all about visual. We're competing with Netflix, Pixar, or Disney, like whoever, like all those people are used to seeing pretty things, right? We're pretty superficial, I find, this way. They still want to see real people, authentic people, but I find, maybe I'm superficial, but I like to look at pretty things, okay? And I decided, so that's why I decided to hire that lady. So I've been working with her ever since, and she makes my stuff look really good. So no credit goes to me for the branding and design. I do 0 in it. All I do is editing. I'm getting very good at editing. But so she created, so I have this Patty Pat's Journey logo, and there's a website that goes with it, Patty Pat's Toastmaster, pattypatsjourney.com. So all my stuff can be found there. And then that branches out into my Patty Pat's Toastmasters journey, where I document my presentation mastery pathway and all the messages that I want to share with the world, okay? Like things that are dear to me. There are a lot of tips and tricks on how to speak more effectively, to give a great toast. That one is really popular. I have like thousands of views on that one. But so this is the point. And thanks to Urmi, I also have within that branch of the Patty Pat's Toastmasters journey, I have my Break Time with Patty show, where I invite people from the public speaking world, either motivational speakers or TEDx speakers or Toastmasters world champions or members, to come and share their story, okay? And all that with the goal, actually I have 3 goals on that path. So I want to encourage the 77% of individuals who suffer from the fear of public speaking to want to come join a club like Toastmaster, Toastmasters club, whether it's the Royal Speakeasy Club or the Words on Wings or any club in the world, really, just so that they can get the confidence. Second, I want to share a message of love and positivity and kindness into the world that we need very, very much. And 3, I want to help women that are victims of abuse. I say women, actually individuals who are victims of abuse can benefit from that. I don't speak to women. My goal is to get to them, but actually I want to help any human being. Those are my 3 goals on that, okay? But then I have my spiritual journey, where I'm sharing my journey, my spiritual journey, and my messages there with my, my before and after. Let's say I had that encounter with God, and then I invite other individuals to share their story as well, their spiritual journey. And it's funny because I also invite people that are Toastmasters members that are spiritual. And I'll tell you why I split them. Because at Toastmasters, as I said, we're welcome everywhere in the world. We share universal messages. So I can go in a club that are full of Muslim people, full of Christian people, full of Buddhist people. It doesn't matter. We stay away from political subjects, religion concepts. Yes, we have our messages, we have our beliefs that come through our messages, but that's not the point, okay? So, but I always have to temper my enthusiasm, because as you see, I'm enthusiastic about my public speaking. I'm 10 times more enthusiastic about my spiritual journey, because this is why I joined Toastmasters. I'm not at Toastmasters to speak at Toastmasters. My spiritual journey is my ultimate goal, focus basically. But it's all linked. So that's the reason why I have this branch. And within that, so yeah, exactly. So I have that show called Bonding Time with Patty. So because I have those logos that were created for those two different things, so people, I want them to recognize, I'm not interested in her spiritual stuff. I'm interested in her public speaking stuff. Oh, Patty Pass Toastmasters Journey logo. And some of the people, they couldn't care less about the Toastmasters. They care about the spiritual. That's all they care about. So then they're going to follow me because they're going to recognize that thing. So I want people to just right away not even think, I want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. This is what this is at right now.
Wow. I don't know how you do all that, honestly. I don't know. You have 2 YouTube channels. I think one is already hard enough and time consuming. But you with 2, I don't know how you do it. It's amazing, honestly.
You know what? Thank you so much, Urmi, but it's really not so amazing. I'll tell you why. Because first of all, I'm single. So I have all the time in the world. I only have to take care of my daughter who's grown. She's 19 years old. And my family, right? Like my mom, my grandfather, stuff like that, and my nieces. But that's just regular stuff. But other than that, I don't have any, my time is free. So I can literally, I use my whole life. I remember I used to watch Netflix. Let's say I would finish my workday and I would watch Netflix for, I don't know, 3, like, when you start binging 3, 4 episodes because you can't stop, you have to get to the next one. I would spend entire evenings. So every night, 3 hours per night, or me, okay? Sometimes 4 hours per night, because it was so good, the episode. So the time I used to spend watching Netflix is the time I put into my stuff right now. And my stuff is making me better because I'm interviewing people that are better than me, that are stronger than me, that I can learn. First of all, we can learn from anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Even the person that has less experience than me, I have something to learn from them. But I just want to say, when you're learning from actual world champions, it's making me better. I know what to do and how to, I'm hanging around with world champions and people, motivational speakers or spiritual people all day long, because I have to edit forever. And for the record, it takes me between 8 to 13 hours for one video that you see. For the research, for not the videos, for the interviews, because I have to research that. I did a whole countdown. Like I said, that's not possible. Yes. But now I learned how to like do 2 at the same time. And I'm trying to find ways to become more efficient at it, but it's a lot of work. And but I'm having fun with it, and I have time for it because I'm single and because I stopped watching Netflix. But I still watch Netflix, but now I force myself to watch only 1 episode per day, because I think it's good to decompress, and because I need to shut down my brain sometimes. It just doesn't stop. So I just stop to relax and I watch a show. When I fold my laundry, I like to watch shows. But this is how I do it because I have nothing else to do.
No, but that's actually a great tip, I would say, because at least you are allocating your time for more things that will help for your own personal growth and for your own development. Like, yes, we can maybe learn something by watching a few shows on Netflix, but how much can you learn? But doing all these YouTube channels, you're working on different skills, like you mentioned, editing, interviewing people, meeting new people, building connection, which you wouldn't have done if you were just watching Netflix. And I think that's a great tip, because I am also a little bit like you. Like we always tell each other 24 hours a day is really not enough, because I want to achieve so many things. And definitely I cut my social life and I don't even watch Netflix. So I totally get you. So before we end our interview, do you have any word of advice that you want to give to the audience? Anything that you want to share?
Yes. So I'll just keep it brief. I would like to encourage you, wherever you are, to ask yourself. I love to do this because it changed my life. So I'd like to ask you to visualize yourself on your deathbed, okay? So visualize yourself, you're 100 years old and you're about to die, and you get to go have an interview with your future you. So I would like to just invite you to go ask your future you, what would they tell you to do differently from today until you make it to your deathbed, so that you die with no regret, or so that that person, that future you, dies with no regret. And when I was asked that by a very wise man of God, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Because I had been living with regrets and shame and feeling of unworthiness for decades. And I thought my life was over. Like, I've made too many mistakes. I'm screwed up. I'm not going anywhere. So those were the kinds of things that were in my head. And then this man said, when he told me this, I go, wait a minute, I'm 40 years old. When he told me this, I was 40. I go, you know what, let's double it. Let's say I die at 80 years old. That means I have 40 years to fix my life, to do whatever I want to do, to take back control. So I go, oh my God, it's not over. So this was like, poof. It's like the universe opened itself up to me. I goes, oh my God, I can still pick up all the pieces, put them back together, do something and help somebody else with it. And that was all around that time of fasting and prayer because I was like really like bullying God to find out what he wanted to do with my life. And so that's when I knew. So I'm hoping that when you have that chat with that future self, because often we tolerate situations, abusive situations with people around us, and we think we make excuses for them. Oh, they had a rough life or whatever. But no, you should not be tolerating abuse. You, like everything there's just so much to life. And I find that people are not living their full life that they're supposed to, the way that it was meant to. And they're just settling for less because of they don't have the tools to they don't even realize that maybe there's more. Maybe you can be happier with your relationship. Maybe you can make more money. Maybe you can get promotions, because that's what happens when you join a group such as Toastmasters. You get the confidence and it helps you. I don't care if you're a baker, a lawyer, a YouTuber, a business owner selling some Tupperwares. Like, you can gain something from finding your voice. And like, people don't want to sell, they don't want to buy your products. They don't want to buy your services. I don't care how good they are. They don't want to buy your Tupperwares or your bread. They are buying you. You need to convince them that they can trust you and what you're offering them is worth their dollar. So anything that you're doing, even if you're in an abusive relationship, you don't have the confidence to speak up and say, hey, don't talk to me like that or whatever. So Toastmasters can help all those areas. So this is why I'm so passionate. I feel like you can either be saved by God or by following a higher power and following where he takes you, or you can be saved by following Toastmasters. And to be honest, I feel like it's all intertwined, to be honest with me. So Patty Pass Journey for me it's a one thing, but we just need to use different words because people have different views and different education. But essentially, I just feel like, why not give it a try? And you know what? You don't have to become a member. You don't have to compete or become a world champion, but you can go and be an observer. You can go check out Urmi's club, World Speakeasy, which is an amazing club. You can come visit my club, Words on Wings, which is an amazing club, or one of the other 15,000 clubs. You just have to type toastmasters.org, and then you'll be able to find whatever. Go anywhere in any country. They'll work. That's the blessing, sorry to say this, of the pandemic, is that we live in a virtual world, and so many of those clubs that used to be in person are now virtual. So you have access. So I'd like to just invite you to go check it out. And you don't have to talk. You know what? We like to see people have the camera open. Just introduce yourself. Say, oh, I'm shy. My name is Patricia. Bye. And then I'm going to go back on mute now. And just look at it and see all these people. I'm telling you, it's a life change. It's a game changer. So I know I talked a lot to answer your question, but I hope I did answer your question. And by the way, Toastmasters is not paying me or
me
to be so or any. We're just like, it's like a family. Okay, so I'm just speaking for my family right now. That's all. That's all I want to say.
I loved everything you said, and I don't know if I could have said it better, but you brought up so many good things. And to add to what you said, and like you said initially, like Toastmaster was for you more like a healing journey, and I agree on that, because I also feel for me was therapeutic, which is also why I joined it, because I was going through like struggles in my own life, and I think it just made me a much better person in different ways. And I also feel like made me also much stronger too. And I have less fear of speaking up, especially when I feel there is something wrong and I'm not agreeing with it. So you said everything on the spot.
Thank you.
All right. So maybe just tell us lastly, where people can find you.
Yes, it's quite simple. Just go to one place. Everything is in one place. And anyway, I have a beautiful website. Anyway, it's beautiful to me. And pattypatsjourney.com. You can find everything. You'll find out about me. You'll find all my videos. Every single video that I've ever released on YouTube, they're in my Toastmasters journey tab. And then you have my spiritual journey with all my spiritual videos right there. And you even have a contact button with all my links. I'm on all the platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Twitter. So I'm everywhere. I'm learning. Hey, I just started learning in August 2021. So I'm just learning how to navigate through all that, but I have my content is on there, and I think it's very good. And there's one thing, that's one video that I've made that can help you. So everything's there, pattypatsjourney.com.
Oh, wow. All right. So make sure to look up Patricia and follow all her social media, because she's literally everywhere. So I want to thank you, Patricia, for coming to my show. I'm very, very happy of the interview and very happy about everything that you spoke. So thank you all for watching the interview. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and turn that notification bell. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.